What's up, creepers? Welcome to Phin and Bryn Spoops.
I'm Bryn.
And I'm Phin.
And today we are breaking down the 2020 Blumhouse picture,
Fantasy Island. Oh my god. Oh, yeah.
Blumhouse has
Imagined.
Yes, that's a great word.
That's what it said.
Blumhouse has reimagined Fantasy Island from the 70s show with Love Boat with Ricardo Montalban and
a horror.
Villachez as a horror. And so you have your Mr. Rourke, who Michael Pena plays, and you might love Michael Pena from Ant-Man.
Oh my god, he's the best, especially how he tells stories.
He plays Luis in...
Have him break down.
Yeah, he plays Luis in Ant-Man and the Ant-Man and the Wasp. And they don't really let him be Michael Pena in this movie. He's very serious, and I've never seen Michael Pena play such a serious role, which is interesting coming off such a campy TV show like Fantasy Island.
Because, well, it's horror now.
Yeah. Also joining Michael Pena in the cast is Maggie Q. I think she was in Divergent. I really like Maggie Q. I'm not sure. I think she was in Divergent. I might be wrong. Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars. Jimmy O. Yang, who was in Silicon Valley. And Michael Rooker. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Ah.
Really?
Yondu. I'm like, yeah.
Yondu, yes.
I'm like, the second I need his name, I'm dead.
I'm looking at IMDb right now, and this was written by Jeff and directed by Jeff Wadlow, and it got a 4.9 out of 10.
Well, I think the end was better, so.
I forgot to mention Portia Doubleday from Mr. Robot is also in this, and I love Portia Doubleday from Mr. Robot, so.
Okay. Well, I'm giving it 3 skulls.
I'm giving it 2.5 skulls.
You're so mean.
I don't want people to go and watch it, because this is our first PG-13 movie we watched, so a lot of people with kids are going to be like, oh, Fantasy Island, how cute! And they're going to go watch it, and then they're going to be like, seriously, what the hell is this? Rude. So,
I mean, it says horror in the description.
Yeah, but it wasn't very scary either.
That's true.
So we want to start it off. We have...
so it starts with what's-her-face, or we don't know her yet.
Yeah, we don't, but it is Portia Doubleday, you can say. That's her name. The actress, Portia Doubleday.
Portia Doubleday?
Yeah.
Like Portia, like the car?
Yes, and Doubleday. Yes. Portia Doubleday, I love her on Mr. Robot.
But it all starts with her running from people, and she runs into this like house thing, and she
on a beach. So it's obvious that it's on
the island.
And
she runs and she grabs a phone and she's like, "Help!" And it's like. She's like, I'm stuck on an island. And he's like, I should know, you're my guest.
And it's obviously Michael Pena's voice. I mean, let's not play around.
And then, well, woo.
She gets dragged away.
Yep, and then it starts with Mr. Rourke and his assistant. What's his ring? Yeah.
His assistant, Julia.
And
she's saying, the plane!
It's coming! Plane's coming. Like you said, like Tattoo.
Like Tattoo. There is no sort of Hervé Villachez in this, which is really strange, because Tattoo really made up a lot of Fantasy Island. But anyways.
So the plane's coming in, and people start coming off the plane.
Yeah.
Is there anything important there other than they came off the plane?
No, we got, JD and T.
JD and T.
Yeah, and then we got Patrick. He comes off. We've got Lucy Hale's character. Oh, what was her name? Lucy Hale. We also have Maggie Q. Her name's Gwen. We have Melanie. And those are our 5. Yeah, those are our 5.
So they're getting off, and they're brought to their rooms. Not yet.
not yet. JD has brought his brother, who is Asian. It's Jimmy O Yang from Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, they
he
meet
played
in the
Jin Yang,
lobby.
and he was so funny. He was very funny in Silicon Valley, and he is very, very funny in Crazy Rich Asians, and he's very funny. He actually kind of carries Fantasy Island on his own. What's his name? Brax? But they call him T?
Yeah, Brax.
Yeah, but we don't know why they call him T until the end. It's very funny.
All right, so they go and they're brought to the lobby thingamabob.
And they're told the rules by Mr. Work. You have a fantasy.
One fantasy.
And you can't have more than one fantasy.
Well, yeah, that's the one.
And the island interprets that fantasy for you. Sometimes it might not be what you expect. He does say that.
Gosh.
And he is wearing the white suit like Mr. Rourke, and he's trying. But he also puts on this weird Ricardo Montalban accent, which sounds bizarre. You know what? He could have just used Michael Pena accent, and we would have been so happy. Yeah, but no, he put on this really weird accent, and it sounded off, like showy. Anyway.
So they're in the lobby and people are like conversing and stuff, and there's T and what's his face?
JD,
and they're talking to
T got dragged along with JD. It's JD's fantasy. Don't forget that. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
T is JD's little brother.
Who came along for his brother's fantasy.
Yeah, who came along because his brother was like, you want to come with me and have my fantasy with me? And his brother's like, because they are very codependent on each other, people. Very, very codependent. Like his girlfriend broke up with, JD's girlfriend broke up with him, and that's the reason why they're on the island, because on their anniversary, he spent the evening hanging out with T. So, whatever.
They're talking with what's his face?
Who's what's his face?
The soldier boy.
Patrick?
Patrick. They're talking with Patrick, and he's like, "Are you guys really brothers?" And they get all up in his face about it, like
racist.
And then they're like, "We're just kidding." And then there's
Patrick's
like
fantasy is to be a soldier.
Yeah.
Melanie is there for a revenge fantasy. Maggie Q is there because she regrets something, a decision she made in her life.
Oh my God.
And JD and T, they just want to live it up. Woo, party! That's their fantasy.
Just like the best party.
So JD and T don't have their rooms. So Mr. Rourke takes them
First,
to...
are they the first ones?
Yeah, they're the first ones. They get the party house.
Yeah.
They get their party house. There's all kinds of models, hot models all over the place for JD.
Guys and girls.
Yes, because T is gay, and he is like, hook me up with some of that. And then they were like, oh my God, are you kidding? All you want is hot dudes. And then the hot dudes open up a tent, and it's full of bongs. And he was like, there are two things in my life that I need.
Hot guys and bongs.
Hot guys and bongs.
And JD.
I guess, yeah. So they have like the big party house. Everybody else has their own little rooms on the other side of the island where Mr. Rourke is.
Party.
Yeah, so they get their party started. Yeah. The next morning, everybody else's fantasies start. He takes Melanie to a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they've got a restaurant set up.
Well, they talked to her.
Yeah,
he talks to her first, like an interview, kind of also like a psychiatrist.
And what was her problem? She had said no.
She had said no to someone who was proposing.
And she had said no, and she regrets it her whole life. She just wanted a kid with this dude.
I keep slapping my legs.
I don't know, but it's going to make a lot of noise on camera. And so he takes her to this restaurant, and she sees the guy that she had said no to, but he's like 5 years younger. Like, this had happened 5 years ago. He hadn't aged like a day. And she's like, oh, okay, you can quit acting now. Don't worry about it. And they're
he's like,
what are you talking about? And it seems like it's real. It seems like it's real. The island's weird. So
they're having dinner
so they're doing that, and while that's happening, he takes Melanie to the elevator. To the elevator.
No, first it's Melanie and what's his face talking. Patrick talking.
Yeah, Melanie tried to.
Melanie tried to hook up with Patrick. Didn't work out,
Did
but
not work out.
he then takes Melanie and brings her to an elevator where she gets.
He says to press the button of the unnamed floor. It's like a little snake.
Snake time.
I don't like snakes.
Don't like snakes. Oh, and then she gets in the elevator and guess who's there? And it has like panels, and I'm like, it's a torture chamber.
It is a torture chamber. She is there because a bully bullied her in junior high and high school to a point where she's like drop out of high school her senior year in homeschool because she was so mean to her. Lights come up, and who's the bully?
Bully?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's what's her face from the beginning.
It's the girl. It's Portia Doubleday from the beginning that you see at the very, very beginning of the movie, and that is her bully Sloane. And she was like, "Wow, this is a really good hologram." And she like shocks her, and she pours toilet water on her because that's what Sloane did to her in high school. And she was like, "This is a great hologram, but it's really Sloane."
And then she presses a button that sends out like a tweet or something.
Video
of her cheating.
Of Sloane cheating on her husband, and her husband sees it. It's on Facebook,
and then
there's a button to call him. Yeah, there's a button to call him, and he's like, "What did you do? Why did you do this to me? Oh my God!" He's like freaking out.
She can't talk. She has a hole in her mouth. She has
a gag in her mouth, so she can't talk. And what was his name? The Dr. Torture?
Dr. Torture, yeah, her psychiatrist that she called Dr. Torture, and she said she wanted to staple his mouth shut. It's just and he comes in,
Melanie had to see a therapist.
And she's like, "Wait, stop." Melanie's like, "Stop," and then he comes up to the glass and is just like,
pulls down
and stapled.
He's like got a doctor's mask on, and he pulls it down, and he's got staples in his mouth. So she realizes that it's Dr. Torture, her therapist that she had to go to when now she got so bullied. So she realizes maybe this is real. Because he's going to cut off a finger or something like that. I don't remember. But she tells him to go to the other side where the shocking thing was.
And she shocks him and then pours the toilet water
on him, and he falls to the ground.
And then she like breaks the window.
Yeah, she breaks the window, and
let's get out of here.
Sloane. She saves Sloane. She's like, "Come on." And Sloane's like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "I got kidnapped too." And she's all, "Meredith?" This is her bully, remember? She's all, "Meredith?" She's all, "Melanie." She's like, whatever.
Meredith? Melanie. It's a weird name.
Anyways. So then what happens?
So they escaped. Mm-hmm. Oh, does it show?
Don't they run into Michael Rooker at some point? He's been on the island.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we go to Patrick.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, Patrick. So his fantasy is to enlist because his mom never let him.
Because his dad died.
So he's enlisted, and he's just and then what's his face? Yondu comes in and is like, "We have to talk now."
Michael Rooker.
And then he's like, "This stuff is stuff."
But too many soldiers show up.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of soldiers, and he leaves, and then the soldiers take Patrick captive and bring him back to their like area thing on their mission. And guess who's there? His dad.
Yes, his dad is in his company that he died for. His company that he died for are on the islands. But his dad died like 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that?
So, yeah.
Weird.
And they're talking about going on like a trip to
Venezuela?
Because there's captives.
Yeah, they're talking about going to Venezuela because there's captives.
And then father realizes he has dog tags of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, how'd you get those?
Why do you have my dog tags?
And then they get attacked. Mm-hmm. And he gets shot, and then Patrick gets shot in the shoulder and passes out. And he wakes up later.
Anyways, let's go faster.
Okay, so there's this whole thing where they're walking and explaining everything, and
they show the house where JD.
They haven't gotten there yet.
No, but JD and then.
Yeah, it shows them partying. They're changing, and they discover
there's a panic room. And there's a room full of guns, and apparently there was a room full of coke. And this is starting to feel like an 80s drug movie. So I'm like, this doesn't bode well.
Drug lord.
This seems like they're in a drug lord's house. And then what happens?
And then what
The hot models kind of abandon them when the soldiers show up. Okay, go.
Yeah, because
I just hurry though.
oh yeah, and then guys, mafia guys come in with their guns.
Yes, and
they shoot somebody.
One of them is Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy, and I love Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy.
So they run upstairs, and then they call what's his face, Mr. Rourke.
Mr. Rourke.
And then the models close the panic room door on
The
them.
models abandon them. They're hot models.
And then Mr. Rourke's like, there might be some unforeseen events to what happened, and then he hangs up.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
they're
you
like,
can't have all that money and power and stuff like that and not have some kind of consequences.
so, yeah, and then the guy
It's
Lord
like having a bad genie.
hold them captive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
So they're the hostages. Wink, wink.
and then
I don't know. Okay, let's just rush through it. We don't need to go scene by scene.
I don't even know what happened. Isn't there something with
Maggie Q wakes up and she's married already to the guy that had proposed to her. It's like been 5 years and they already have a kid, and that's kind of weird.
Wait, what happened to Meredith or
Melanie and Sloane. They hook up with Michael Rooker's character who tries to save them.
That man
and he
jumps off a cliff.
dies.
After showing them
but he did show them like the heart of the island.
crystal thing.
It's very. What's the word? What was that movie? The Atlantis. It's very much like the heart of Atlantis. It's like this big rock that's like floating over
Water.
a pool. And
Okay, so they're showing that, and then later he dives off a cliff.
he
getting
doesn't dive
this.
off a cliff. He gets thrown off a cliff. I thought.
No,
he
he
throws the guy off the cliff with him.
Yeah.
He saves the girls from
Dr. Torture.
From Dr. Torture.
Okay, so now it goes back to military guy person, right? Patrick, and they make it to Venezuela, or
Whatever,
supposedly
Venezuela.
and it's the party house.
It's the party house.
And the captives are T and T.
JD and T.
I just said T and T because you said JD first, so I just went with it.
Okay.
Okay, so they go shoot.
Yeah.
And they save them somehow, right? And they do a bunch of stuff. And then, Patrick waits outside for the supposed, because his dad says if things go south in there, because he told his dad the whole thing about the
How he dies.
Yeah, and then it's like if something goes wrong, then there's
Oh, what? Oh, a helicopter or a plane to get him out of there? Or what? What are we talking about? I don't even remember. I
forgot what it's called. Why
What
can't
does
I?
it look like? Is it a weapon?
It's not a thing. It's something that happens. It's a you get attacked without like a surprise ambush.
It's like a game show around here,
it
people.
gets ambushed. And so he waits outside, and oh look, ambush comes because there's guys outside, and so they go save JD, right? No, yeah,
Yes.
and it shows T in the armory, and he kills one guy, and then he goes out, and there's the two. He makes them drop their weapons. He makes them drop their weapons, so it looks like the mafia guys are the captives, and he's like, wait, it's me, T. And he takes off the mask, and he's like, oh, T, hey. And then there's this whole thing that goes down where there's grenades and.
Anyways, it turns out, because we're not going to make this
They're
a big,
connected.
long. They're all connected. They are actually connected because Gwen started a fire in her apartment.
Yeah, and she wants to fix that,
She wants to
it
actually
shows
fix
all
that.
this.
That's the thing she regrets more than not saying yes to the guy.
So yeah, she gets that and explains like how they're all related.
She started a fire.
You wanted to go fast.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
but
going
she started a
fast.
fire in the apartment, and it burned the guy that lived upstairs, who was JD and T's roommate, and the cop outside was Patrick.
But how
and the reason,
was?
And Nickel.
But no one knows how Meredith was.
Melanie.
Meredith was involved. So Then Meredith Melanie shows them the cave and stuff. They all meet up somehow and show them the cave, and they show them the cave, and they get split up, and then they all have this thing. They eventually make it to the core where they discover it's all Melanie's fantasy to get revenge because Melanie was dating that guy
that died upstairs.
They actually only had one date.
Yeah, they only had one date. She's a little clingy.
Okay, so then to be with him forever, I guess, was her fantasy. So
I don't know.
They're like, heh heh, and then he just grabs her into the water and stuff because what's her face, the bully. Sloane has her wish, and she drinks the water because there's a weird thing with the water, and that's her. And then she wishes for Melanie and
to join Nick.
No, to be with Nick forever, and then Nick just takes her into the water. Yeah. So yay! Away.
It's over, and they say they're going to give a terrible Yelp review to Fantasy Island. So they're packing up and leaving, and Mr. Rourke has to give up his wife, which is the reason he's there. So he's like connected to it because his wife died, and as long as he runs Fantasy Island,
oh yeah, we forgot to mention JD got shot. JD got shot and died.
Yeah, JD got shot and died.
So they're at the end, and then T's like, I'm not gonna get on the plane because, well, he's like, he's still.
They kept teasing him about the ink he got in college through the whole movie.
But wait. Okay, so sorry if the audio is weird because I can't get this clipped in.
So JD.
So yeah, JD died. We said. Because we forgot to say it before. So yeah, they're getting on the plane. T's like, oh yeah, Mr. Rourke is like,
Mr. Rourke said,
remember, you still have yours, and he's like, I wish for my brother to have a nice life or whatever.
He's like, you're going to have to stay here.
So.
He's like, what should we call you?
Well, first.
They'll get on the plane.
And they go with JD on the plane too. And then Mr. Rourke's like, what do you call him?
What are we going to call you?
And then he's like, I did have this nickname in college. And he shows his thing, and it's literally a tattoo that says tattoo. And then Mr. Rourke's like, welcome to
Fantasy Island tattoo.
So I guess this takes place before the other one.
I guess it's a prequel to the TV series. And I think that they think that there might be more. They ended it like that. They're like, ooh, franchise. And I'm like, not going to happen.
So, good movie-ish.
He liked it better than I did. But he also never saw Fantasy Island. You know what? They should totally do a horror movie of Love Boat, and then they should do a horror movie of Love Boat and Fantasy Island together. Crossover, people! Come on! Love Boat could be like Ghost Ship. Yeah! Whatever.
Crashes.
So yeah, we gotta give it, what did I say, 2.5?
Yeah.
2.5 skulls?
3. So, make sure to...
Tonight we're gonna watch Sinister 2. Yes. We might be reviewing The Quiet Place. I don't think I can watch The Quiet Place again because it really hurt me, but I think your dad is going to watch it with you because he really liked Quiet Place. Yeah.
All right, so make sure to vote.
Make sure to vote.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.